Końskie, a town of special significance in Polish politics. It was there that Rafał Trzaskowski lost the presidential election 5 years ago. Yesterday, he could have changed history, but he failed to appear in the TV Republika debate, thereby disregarding millions of our viewers. Donald Tusk's deputy had the opportunity to appear on Poland's largest news channel, but he turned it down. Karol Nawrocki took to the stage alone and answered questions from ordinary Poles. Will last night determine the outcome of Sunday's election? Life rarely gives us the opportunity to correct our mistakes. According to many experts, it was Rafał Trzaskowski's failure to participate in the debate in Końskie in 2020 that ruined his chances in the election. Rafał Trzaskowski could have corrected his mistake from 5 years ago and appeared at the debate in Końskie organised by TV Republika, but he rejected this opportunity. It's a shame, because his voice could have reached millions of potential new voters. During the debate, 12 questions from our viewers were asked.
Pytam o sprawę zasadniczą.
I'm asking about a fundamental issue about the basic principles of the political system, which form the foundation of the state and the law. If any ruling of the Court of Justice of the European Union were to conflict with the Polish constitution, can you unequivocally declare that in such a situation you will place the constitution and sovereignty of Poland above the rulings of the Court of Justice of the European Union? Naturally, only Karol Nawrocki answered these questions. I will never agree to this move or the centralizing dynamism of the European Union, and I will ensure that Polish law determines the future of the Polish state. This fundamentally distinguishes me from my opponent, Rafał Trzaskowski, and, above all, from Prime Minister Donald Tusk, who, as we know, is a follower of German interests. Like any other debate, it ended with a closing speech. That is, words that the candidate particularly wanted to convey to the voters. For me, this is the 8th debate, and I participated in it alone today. Rafał Trzaskowski did not come. He did not come not only because he is a coward, but also because he believes that you do not deserve his presence at this debate and in this place. And Rafał Trzaskowski wants Poland to be like that. He wants Poland to be only for his followers and not for people like us, regardless of our political views. Rafał Trzaskowski deprived himself of this final chord at the end of the campaign. It was a decision that is unlikely to raise Trzaskowski's ratings, but rather lower them. It was the last debate, a debate that was supposed to decide everything. At least that's how it was perceived. So if someone doesn't show up for such a debate, they expose themselves to such accusations and negative assessments. Crowds of voters gathered in front of the stage in the market square in Końskie, including Rafał Trzaskowski's supporters. There were enough debates, as before any presidential campaign. There was already debate in Końskie, and Mr. Rafał had said enough. However, Karol Nawrocki's supporters dominated the discussion, talking about the dirty campaign and Rafał Trzaskowski's absence. He knows what awaits him. That is, defeat awaits him. He is consistent in his actions. He is simply afraid of the truth. Well, it's just the height of everything that foreign media and foreign money are being pumped into a hate campaign against an independent candidate. Well, it's just the height of everything. Despite the downpour, people bravely listened to the debate. At the end, Karol Nawrocki came out to them. So Karol Nawrocki stayed with the voters after the debate to talk to them, while Rafał Trzaskowski didn't even bother to come to them. This is a signal confirming certain social feelings towards him, that he is a big city candidate who simply does not respect smaller towns and their residents very much. I miss Rafał Trzaskowski a little. I like it when he is there, but I don't like it when he lies. But whenever he lies, I want to tell him that he is wrong. So I missed him a little, especially since the presidential campaign is coming to an end. So I won't have many opportunities to clash with him. Rafał Trzaskowski's campaign team, in order to limit damage to his image, came up with the idea of a meeting with voters in Kalisz. At the rally, random Poles were invited onto the stage to ask questions of Donald Tusk's deputy. In 24 years, I will be a mature man. Can you promise me that in 24 years, you, as the president, will award me a medal for longevity? Haha, for longevity. At that time, you will be as old as I am now. Well, one must admit that this atmosphere is a bit more pleasant for the deputy leader of the Civic Platform than in debate with his opponent. It was a formula that I would describe as somewhat Putin-esque, a meeting with people who were not exactly there spontaneously. If a woman from Warsaw shows up at this meeting, travelling all the way from Warsaw to ask about animal rights, it doesn't look serious. It's simply symbolic of how inauthentic Rafał Trzaskowski's campaign is. The situation is certainly not improved by former Polish President Bronisław Komorowski, who, when asked about Rafał Trzaskowski's lies, says in a disarming and honest way, if someone manages to win an election by lying, everyone is eager to do the same. It's like a plague. You can convince people of almost anything. This election campaign will certainly go down in history. Końskie has once again made its mark on the political map of Poland. And, just like 5 years ago, there was only one candidate. Times change, views change, but mistakes remain the same. The scale of military exercises and maneuvers conducted with the participation of American forces in the Baltic states and Scandinavia is overwhelming. It's not just about their numbers, but the scope as well. From missile defense to naval and air maneuvers, rapid response forces and reconnaissance support. It is no coincidence that everything is happening in this region. For several months, the Kremlin has been expanding its military infrastructure here.
To ensure that Latvia's armed forces, together with allies, are prepared to defend our people, our values, and the territorial integrity of our nation.
Particularly worrying are the Zapad 2025 maneuvers announced for September in Belarus. Experts fear provocations from Russia. The last such exercises were a prelude to the invasion of Ukraine. Despite the war, Putin continues to increase the size of his army, which, according to analysts, is now larger than it was in 2022. Information obtained by intelligence and data from open sources indicate that Putin and his entourage have no plans to end the war. There are currently no indications that they are seriously considering peace or diplomacy. On the contrary, there is ample evidence that they are preparing new offensive operations. Russia is counting on a protracted war. Washington sees this too. Above all, they see these images. In recent days, Putin has fired over 1,000 missiles and drones at Ukraine. Dozens of people have been killed. These incidents have strained diplomatic efforts.
And I'm not happy with what Putin's doing. He's killing a lot of people, and I don't know what the hell happened to Putin. I've known him a long time, always gotten along with him, but he's sending rockets into cities and killing people, and I don't like it at all, okay? We're in the middle of talking, and he's shooting rockets into Kiev and other cities. I don't like it at all.
A day later, Trump spoke out even more bluntly. He's gone absolutely crazy. He is needlessly killing a lot of people, and I'm not just talking about soldiers. Missiles and drones are being shot into cities in Ukraine for no reason whatsoever. I've always said that he wants all of Ukraine, not just a piece of it, and maybe that's proving to be right, but if he does, it will lead to the downfall of Russia. The USA has repeatedly declared its full support for NATO's eastern flank, primarily Poland. But as they themselves say, relations with the Republican Party and the White House administration are an important factor.
Liberalna strona spektrum politycznego.
The leftward end of Poland's political spectrum has greatly neglected relations with the USA, especially with the currently ruling Republican administration, and it does not enjoy favorable ratings there, so it will certainly not be able to effectively look out for Polish interests, unlike Polish conservatives, who do have good relations with the White House and can practice solid diplomacy with an ally that is absolutely crucial to our security. The Kremlin has not yet officially presented a draft memorandum in the negotiations. Unofficially, one of the key conditions is a ban on NATO membership not only for Ukraine, but also for Georgia and Moldova. The Russians are said to have proposed a meeting between the teams as early as next Monday in Istanbul.
Armata!
British aviation company Vertical Aerospace has unveiled the first certified flight of an electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft in European open airspace. This groundbreaking flight, conducted at Cotswold Airport in Western England, marks a milestone in the commercialization of electric-powered air travel. The VX4 prototype, developed under the strict supervision of the UK Civil Aviation Authority, took off, flew several kilometers, and landed like a conventional aircraft, using the lift generated by its wings.
So the milestone we achieved was our electric aircraft took off like a conventional aircraft along the runway, hit 70 knots, took off and flew in public airspace. A huge moment because that was allowed by the regulator at the UK. We couldn't do it without the regulator saying, this aircraft is safe to fly in public airspace.
The flights took place after rigorous technical inspections. More than 30,000 pieces of flight data confirmed the stability, control, and performance of the aircraft. The company's management claims that this is the first such event in European airspace.
First time in European airspace that this has happened. The regulations here are much tougher than they are in the US. If we're in the US, you can be out in the desert, there's nothing around, you can fly at your own risk. In Europe, you have to work with a regulator, and it was a major step we took.
The company's goal for the next decade is mass air transportation by taxis.
The ambition for this aircraft is for mass transport. If you look at the way the world is evolving, global megacities don't work. Whether that's Mumbai, New Delhi, London, New York, LA, Tokyo, Osaka, you can't get around in them or in and out of them very easily. So the goal of this, if you look 5-10 years down the line.
50 years ago, flying cars were a fantasy. 5 years ago, there were already 400 companies working on such projects.
We've actually done vertical takeoff, cruising at around 30 knots, 30 feet, and vertical landing. We've then done a conventional takeoff and landing, flying at 120 miles an hour. The next step is joining them together, where we take off, accelerate beyond the 30 knots up to 70 when the wing takes over, and then slow down and land. So that'll be a big moment for us later this year.
The concept of flying taxis has long captured the imagination, not only of new technology enthusiasts, but also of organizers of events, such as mass gatherings. Flying taxis were supposed to be used by fans of the 2024 Paris Olympics. However, the aircraft did not obtain all the necessary approvals from European regulators in time. Now, this may change.